All right, and hello. We are back with another episode, episode two actually, of the SOS Brigade. And SOS Brigade, which I think I forgot to even mention the first time around, stands for spiritual or supernatural brigade. Uh so for today's episode, we're gonna talk about paranormal experiences that we may or may not have had in the past. And we have a guest with us. So it'll be me, Astral, my co-host Bear, and our guest Barrett is here with us. Say hello.
Hello, Barrett.
Alrighty. So yes, today's episode. Oh, let me actually play the video. Oh, we got a little ambience going here. A haunted church apparently. It's actually surprisingly hard to find like ambient background that has moving things instead of just ASMR. But yep, there's the little
Oh,
ghost there.
I'm,
We're
I was
taking
gonna
this.
say, oh,
We're,
I was gonna say, if you want an ambience, go to New Orleans because they have a lot of abandoned stuff there
oh,
with
I
a lot
was.
of.
Yeah, so apparently my sister and my mom took a trip to New Orleans, and I'm like, oh, I should have gone because like they have all these like haunted tours, and what was that one lady like? There's like this really famous lady back in the day who was like ended up like killing a bunch of her mistress or her slaves. Not
Yeah,
Elizabeth Bathory, but maybe someone else. I can't remember. And like, oh, I would have loved to have gone on one of those like haunted tours or whatever. Visited the I think they have some haunted tours and some haunted graveyards and stuff like that. I'm like that would have been cool. Yep, there's
yeah.
a little ghost right there. Yeah, but most of it unfortunately was just like crappy ASMR with like no moving video background. I'm like, I kind of want like a moving video. I digress. So Bear over here is kind of our skeptic, our citizen skeptic here. Um, Bear, do you believe in ghosts at all? Ooh, spooky. Hey, Bear,
What?
I'm talking to you.
Oh, what?
Do you
Do I
believe
believe
in?
in ghosts, you said?
Yeah.
Uh, Not really.
Why not? Do you have a reason for not, or just me?
No, I think it's like the mind wants to see what it wants to see, especially if you're a believer in that kind of stuff. Like all these TV shows out there or channels or whatever on YouTube, TikTok, whatever.
Mm,
Like a lot of them will it's kind of funny because when the camera's not facing something is when they'll see something, right?
right. Or it's like, oh, I feel like really, like my skin, my hair is standing up on end, dude, or whatever.
Right. Which could just be the environment that they're in that's causing that. And it's
Right.
not the actual, well, quote unquote, ghosts that's doing that to them. I
Mm,
mean, obviously, there are experiences that people have that are unexplainable, like video evidence of like chairs moving where they can't really explain that, or things toppling over.
well, I
A lot of
mean,
people chalk it up to like the fish lines, right? Which,
mm,
fine, some people will do that for, views and stuff, but you can't always disprove it, but I really don't believe anything like that. I think
right.
it's just physics in some ways messing up or doing something to.
Well,
Uh,
and the problem is like obviously with how quickly technology is going on or progressing. Like now everyone has the software at home. They could free download like graphics programs to like edit things in or even fancier stuff like oh I'm gonna create a mist like shape here in the corner here and it's gonna do that. So it's like you can't even trust any of these videos that like back in like maybe the 90s or early 2000s. It's like I have this video of a ghost, dude. Holy crap! You're like, oh wow. But nowadays, it's like everything could be edited. So you gotta like
Yeah,
take everything you see with a grain of salt, you know?
Yep.
And it's like, and a lot of like what you see on TikTok or like I like seeing that even like so like I'll watch a lot of like you got like Nuke's Top 5, you got Scarify, you got King Frostmare, you got like all these different channels. Uh Depths of Despair, I think, is another one. You got these like that have compilations of ghost caught on camera, and like it's entertaining if you like shut off the skeptical side of your brain a bit and just kind of like believe it for like that little bit of time because it's entertaining and like I don't have anything else to watch at that moment and I want to watch something spooky, quote unquote spooky. So I'll like pretend this is real, you know? But like half of that, most of that shit, I would argue like 92, 95% of that stuff's probably all fake. It all comes from TikTok, YouTube, or whatever. But so we got one skeptic. I believe ghosts and spirits exist, but I think it's a lot more rare than what we are led to believe or whatever we want to say. You know what I mean? Like, ooh,
Yeah.
listen to that
I
wind.
hear-
Like, it's like a whole like. Well, I'll get into the whole Ouija board thing in a bit, but I just don't think it's as common as we're led to believe. The same with aliens, for that matter. I 100% believe in aliens. I just don't think they're like visiting us all the fucking time. They probably have in the past or now, but not as much as people like to make it seem. But so yeah, Bear, why don't you said that you had some personal encounters with possibly spirits of some sort. You're gonna be the star of the show here since neither of us have really had a whole lot of encounters here.
Oh, I have plenty.
Well, why don't you regale us with a few? Or all if you want.
Well, who should go first? I'm just a guest.
Well, like I said, Omar obviously hasn't had any experiences. I might have had one. But I can save mine for later, because it's possibly not even a real thing. It's like one of those, like, it could be, but there's probably a logical explanation that could have happened. There's no proof, like, I don't know.
Well, for a guy who was who spent who grew up his childhood in well, part of my childhood in New Orleans. I I witnessed and seen a lot of paranormal stuff.
Yeah,
Because
here it's a
remember,
very spiritual place.
yeah, because my grandmother used to live right next to a graveyard.
Oh, that's always fun.
It didn't bother us, really. It didn't.
I think it's
But
kind of cool. Like I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
But like I always found like graveyards kind of beautiful in a way. Like I never really got scared of graveyards. I always thought they're like really kind of pretty. I don't know if that's like just weird or not, but like I always thought they had like a solemn like beauty to it, I guess. I was never
Yeah,
afraid. I never really got why people are afraid of it. I guess because they remind them people of our own mortality. But
yeah.
go ahead, sorry.
Oh, it's all right. And to me, yeah, graveyards are the final resting place for people who passed on. But yeah, I seen some paranormal stuff. You know, like for instance, I woke up one night and I thought I saw somebody just walking out of my room.
Oh, like that
we
ghost right there. Was he wearing a sheet?
no, I just thought like I just saw a really dark shadow.
Yeah, usually like shadow people.
Yeah, and also one night while my grandmother and my brother and sister was in the living room, right? I was looking out the window. This happened like around 9 p.m. I could have sworn I seen some people just coming out of their graves, like not zombie like, but just like their spirits of them just phasing out of their graveyards.
Oh wow. Were they dark silhouettes? Because I mean, it was probably dark out. You like, did you see all that good? Was there any light outside?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Well,
Not zombies though.
Yeah, I was gonna say it wasn't like like what you see right now, like light pollution. Like it was like a couple of lampposts out there. But yeah, I saw it and witnessed it.
That's cool. So that would infer that like ghosts are still connected to the body even after death. Then, I mean, I guess that makes sense from all the ghost stories we hear. If like someone died in a horrific way in a certain place or something like that, and the spirit still lingers by, I guess because that was the body's final resting place or something.
Yeah,
I'm
and
not quite sure.
I was gonna say that's why I don't mess with their stuff, because like part of them are still connected to like a brush, their stuffed teddy bear, you know, like that's why I don't mess with that.
Or plus, I also heard that like a lot of times, like a spirit will, if they had a physical object, like you said, a brush or teddy bear or mirror, whatever, that they really connected with in real life, like they will use that as a vessel kind of thing to store their spirit in. Not really store the spirit, but to connect their spirit to.
Yeah.
And that's when you go on eBay and you find all these supposedly haunted objects that are like supposedly haunted. I'm like, okay, they're just trying to sell shit and mark it up as it's haunted. So I'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah.
Yeah.
Because like depending on one's take on mortality and what happens when you die, if you're spiritual at all or religious. And I like to create a difference there because like the whole, like obviously it's in our title, so like spiritual or supernatural. Wait, spiritual or supernatural. I forgot my own title for a second. Well, it's like and/or, like it all merges together. But I just wanted it to sound cool. Whatever. But
no, you are cool.
Nah. But like depending on people's different spiritual beliefs, people have different beliefs of what happens to the soul when you die, obviously. And I, like you said, like some people think that your soul or spirit is connected to the body. Some people think that when you die, your spirit is severed from the body so it can go to heaven or hell, or if we're talking organized religion, or reincarnated or whatever. But that makes me wonder what happens to the people who are cremated, though. You know what I mean? Because like a lot more people are being cremated now because it's a cheaper way to do things. It's a lot cheaper to cremate a body than it is to bury one, right? And like sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and they're doing this because no, they started doing this more frequently because of you know what that year 2020.
Yeah. And not to mention just that, it's just like land is becoming more and more scarce for graveyards. It's getting harder and harder to find space for new graves and everything like that. It's like I said, it's more expensive. It's a cheaper alternative for families, especially in more populated areas. Like I've toyed with the idea of possibly being cremated when I die. I mean, if I die. I mean, I might still be immortal. I don't know. I won't know until I actually die or not. If I'm immortal or not, right? That's how you figure it out, right? I'm just kidding. But I have thought about that, like, in my will, be like, hey, like, it's a lot cheaper for me if, like, just to cremate me or throw me in the woods or have a sky burial or some shit instead of burying my body. Because like, and then it's kind of icky if you bury a body in the ground, and it's like no matter how good the casket is, eventually it's going to deteriorate over time, and worms are gonna eat your corpse and all that goody jazz deterioration stuff that happens to a
Yeah.
body without being too gross. So I
Well, the
wonder.
thing
Sorry.
I was gonna say, the thing with the graves is I think that they're putting the stone slabs around it now, so
Right,
you're
I
not.
keep forgetting about that actually. Yeah, you're right. Because now they have like a, what is it called? Like, not a tomb, but like, yeah, you're right. They do have like a concrete like box, and then they put the
Hmm.
casket in the box and bury that. I keep forgetting that's a thing for some reason, even though I've been to like 2 funerals in the past like couple years, unfortunately. But yeah, I keep forgetting about that. So I guess yeah, if that's the case, I mean, but you know how worms and shit are. Like I'm sure they can still squeeze in the cracks of that. They get like everywhere. I don't know. Or bugs. I don't know.
Hmm.
Like centipedes and stuff will just crawl in the tiniest little crack or whatever. I don't know. Or maybe those like I always thought. You know what I always thought was kind of cool? Like those mausoleums. What's like an above ground like building, and you go in and it's like you pull out the casket, and the casket's like in each of these like spots of the mausoleum above ground. I always thought that was kind of cool, but you gotta have like a lot of money for that shit. That's some expensive stuff.
Tell me about it.
It's like your family's got to be doing pretty good for that.
Yeah.
But
Every time when I see a mausoleum, I'll be like, wow, I bet that set that family back.
mm-hmm. And even nowadays, like the cost of just someone dying and normally having a normal burial is crazy expensive. It's insane.
Yeah.
I guess
Hmm.
the good thing is the person who died doesn't have to worry about it, but I'm like, just toss my body to the woods, like in the wilderness somewhere, because no one else is gonna
Or
be care.
or being buried at sea.
Yeah, or a Viking burial, you know. Hopefully, we're not being too morbid for our viewers. The whole 4 people that are gonna be
Yeah.
watching this.
Yeah. Sorry if we are. Sorry.
It's a little macabre, eh? But yeah, like to wrap it up, I
Well,
wonder what happens when someone's like, if the soul is still attached to the body, and would they just be attached to the ashes of the body then, or the urn, or whatever you want to call it, or would that free the soul to then go wherever it wants? Because like I was under the impression, spiritually believing, that like there's like a line that connects your soul to your body, and then upon death it's severed, and you can go on and meet your soul guides or spirit guides and loved ones that died, and get ready for reincarnation or whatever other belief you have. But that's interesting that you saw that. That's really cool. You probably just like, does anyone else see that?
yeah, and they look at you all crazy.
Yeah, you're like, no. You're watching too many scary movies, kid.
And I'm like, y'all never live and watch scary movies.
I love horror movies.
Yeah, but I'm gonna save that talk for another time when I host my show.
Yeah, that's more of a your show thing.
But hey, I'd like to have you back on it if you want to.
Oh, totally.
Both of y'all if y'all want.
We'll put the link in our description for our show.
Yeah. So I was gonna say before you start the next topic, I was gonna say, yeah, the reason why we're talking, sorry if we're talking morbid, but some people do like it because it's almost Halloween.
I can't wait. I'm excited for it. Plus, I'm done with summer already. I'm so over summer. It's too hot.
Oh, you think? Oh, go to Texas
Oh my god, I
and
would melt.
like go to Texas, then talk to me.
I would freaking melt.
But but yeah,
Did you
That's
have
all.
any other experiences, or was that roughly about it?
Oh, there was this one time I spent the night at my friend's house. This was back in Texas. I spent the night at my friend's house, and the next morning he told me that like sleep in the back room if you at your own risk because if you wake up, you will see an old lady just standing over you.
Just randomly. Oh, by the way.
No. I'm being serious because that house used to be somebody's house, somebody
Oh.
else's house, and my friend tried to call my name, but she covered his mouth.
Oh shit. So he slept
Yeah,
in that room then?
yeah.
Wow. Was this still in New Orleans or was this in a different area?
Oh, this is in Texas.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, they have some. Yeah, they have some paranormal stuff over there in Texas, like the abandoned bridge.
Well, I think every state has at least a couple things like that though, don't they? Like every state is like, oh, it's this one highway and if you go there and you park your car, kids will push like dead ghosts, spirits of dead kids or something will push your car over the hill or something
Yeah,
weird like that.
or the haunted highway where you go on this highway, then you see these headlights behind you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was like, when once, and yes, his other friend slept in that same room, man. It happened to him.
Really? So it's like a regular occurrence.
Yeah, and this is my last one. This is my last one. And when I was with my ex, I stayed at her folks' house with her, right? Well, her mother's house, and sometimes like during the afternoon or evening, we could hear a lot of thumping sounds in her bedroom. No pets or anything like her, not her cats or her dogs are in there. It just
Wow,
was
that's.
any of that like
Did you look in to
there
see
is.
what it was? Did any of you like
Yeah,
have the courage to get up and go check it out?
no, this was a regular thing for her too because there is a spiritual presence in that room,
Mhm. Just that room
and
though.
and it the ghost goes crazy if my ex is not in the house.
Really? So it likes
It
your
just
ex.
huh?
So it likes your ex.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of
So
crazy.
it starts throwing stuff around and everything. Yeah. Yeah, because what was I about to say? Yeah, because her mom witnessed it too. So so yeah, those are some of my paranormal stuff that I witnessed growing up in New Orleans and in Texas.
Hmm. Sorry, I'm just
And
looking. No, continue.
I was gonna say, if you want to ask me if I do believe in ghosts, I'll be like, yeah,
Well, after all you've seen, I would probably imagine, yeah.
yeah. But oh boy,
Sorry, one second. I'm just looking for something really quick.
are you looking for something out of the blue or something morbid?
It's related. It is related to the podcast. I'm just not prepared.
Well, oh yeah, if I remember correctly, there's just one. I can't remember, but it is in Texas. I think it's called the haunted graveyard. Like if you sit in this one spot with your chair, a hole will open up and it will swallow you whole.
Oh, yes, of course.
Huh?
Nothing. Well, I can't find the damn name of it. Sorry, I'm just there's. Now it's like my OCD's bothering me and I gotta find it, but probably not gonna. I think it started with an H. Hold on. Keep talking.
Okay. I'm gonna keep talking. All right. Like, who are fans of Paranormal Activity?
I like the first couple, and then it got really stupid.
Well, yeah, the first and second one, yeah, it was good, but now it's just like, what?
I haven't even watched all of them. I think I watched up till 3. Like I watched the one up until like the Mexican grandma one. I think was the last one I watched. That was like into witchcraft or something.
Oh yeah, that one.
And then I think after that I stopped.
I didn't, and oh, sorry, I didn't want to like, sorry everybody, I just not trying to get into it. Well, it's not a horror movie. It's a paranormal movie. Ever seen a movie called 1408?
Yeah, that was actually really good.
Like, why can't they make a paranormal movies like that? John
Well,
Cusack
that
didn't.
was based
John
on a
Cusack,
Stephen King short too, wasn't it?
oh yeah,
I think so.
yeah.
Well, I know this that's coming out soon isn't really ghosty paranormal, but it is cryptidy, I guess. The Hollow Tree movie that has to do with the Skinwalker post-apocalyptic. The one that was
Oh,
going around TikTok for a while. That one looks really interesting.
oh yeah, I seen the trailer for that. Yeah.
Can't wait.
It did look pretty good. It is like an indie movie, isn't it? Like a low budget.
Yeah, it was made by a few people in Ireland, I think it was. And they didn't have much of a budget, but they did it on their own time, and it looks really good. They're
Yeah,
very
see,
dedicated.
yeah, you see, that's what I like about indie movies. Like, people who want to direct their own movies, they put a lot of heart and into their movies. You know?
Why can I never find this one place? All right, screw it.
Yeah.
I'm not looking it up. It's gonna take it too long. It lost its thing. I wanted to go over a few haunted places that are supposedly haunted places that are in New York where we live, and unfortunately, I've never been to any of them. And I really want to like one of these days, like I'll get some equipment to go ghost hunting or something. I think that'd be really cool. But here are some haunted places that are up here. There's a lot more, and there's one in particular that I just can't remember the name of it. I want to say it was like it started with an H, so it was either like the Hilton House, the Hamilton House. It was like a really famous house. It was that was it. Hold on, let me look it up. Just my brain does not work.
What, Rolling Hills?
Well, no, that's gonna be in there. Obviously, Rolling Hills. That's the main one. The haunted Hinsdale House. The haunted Hinsdale / Dandy House is apparent. It's a historic landmark in Hinsdale, New York, and apparently it's really haunted. And it was also featured in quite a few ghost hunting, um, different ghost hunting episodes. So that was the one I was looking for, and I can never remember its name because it's like, who the heck's gonna remember Hinsdale? Obviously, the Amityville Horror House was in New York, obviously. Which, that one, I don't think that was actually haunted.
No, the house was. What?
I kind of feel like that one was a scam, and according to everyone else who ever lived in there, besides the Lutzes, like, they never experienced any kind of paranormal activity. It was only related to the one family. And so either the family lied about it and made it up, or that one family just had a spirit attached to them, not the house. But they probably made it up. I mean, it's possible it was just attached to the family and not the house. I know you had the whole Defoe killings and everything else, but if that was the case and they were tied to the house, why did no one else afterwards or before ever have? Well, not before, but afterwards, after the Lutzes moved out, why did no one else have any paranormal activity going on?
That's a good question.
I don't know. There's a place called Letchworth Village. It's like an abandoned institution meant to. Oh, so it's another asylum that's abandoned. Obviously, you also have the big one here. Every year is the one Bear said earlier, and I'm blanking on it. Rolling Hills Asylum, because that's like a big one that's also been featured in quite a few of these like haunted ghost hunter TV show type things. And that's used to be at one point it was a poorhouse, and then it got turned into an asylum, and then it got turned into like a retirement home, and then eventually closed. Now they just charge outrageous prices to go on ghost tours for a couple hours.
Yeah, but you can't even bring your own equipment. Like
No.
we looked up the rules at work because one of my coworkers was into it too, and she said that they give you like there's so many rules to it. You can't bring your own, like you can't bring your Ouija board at all.
Of course not. They don't want you to exercise the demons. They don't want you to be like, hey, ghosts, you can go into the light and screw them out of money. That's how they make money now.
Well, yeah, but like you would think, like unless like you're some big production company, you're not allowed to take your own equipment.
Yeah, but all these big TV shows or even YouTube channels can walk up in and bring all this shit.
Like I get why. I think they want to keep the
Mystique or the mystery of it.
right, yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, the Sleepy Hollow Cemetery is close to New York City. So that's always cool. The famous one. Oh, yeah, I've heard someone actually mention this. The Iron Island Museum is located near Buffalo. And it's like supposedly one of the most haunted buildings in Western New York. And that one actually looks really cool. It's like a museum now, but it also has haunted ghost tours. I actually had the lady who owns this come through my. I was ringing her up because I'm a cashier, so I was ringing her. Like I didn't realize who she is or anything, and I saw her. She was wearing one of the T-shirts for the place, and I saw. I'm like, oh, I never heard of that. And she's like, oh yeah, it's really haunted. It's really cool. I'm like, no shit. And she was really nice. And she's like, oh no, we are like a lot, like we're at like more like legit and like let you have more freedoms or whatever than, not freedoms, but I don't remember exactly what she said because it was a while ago. But she's like, oh yeah, it's genuinely haunted. And like, I guess they're like more lax than the Rolling Hills Asylum in a lot of instances or whatever. Or maybe they probably charge less money for sure. And they probably let you go for longer investigating. But I do want to check that place out because that place looks really cool. And then obviously the Buffalo Central Terminal. It's like it used to be an old like train station terminal. And I guess like I've seen a lot of like ghost hunter shows do videos or episodes on that alone. But so we have quite a few haunted locations in New York, surprisingly. And I've never been to any of them. Because they all charge outrageous amounts of money.
Yeah, they want that money.
Yeah. It's like, oh, we got this. I bought this place that's like supposedly haunted. Let me milk it for all it's worth. Like, what the fuck, man? All right. But yeah, so. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, yeah, there, and I found some haunted places here in Tacoma.
Oh, cool.
Like for instance, there's the the old city hall in Tacoma.
City Hall, huh? You better not have to go like change something or need the City Hall for something. I'm right.
And there's another place called University Heights in Seattle.
What is that?
It's a it's a it's a university school.
Oh, okay. Dead. Maybe some students who died while studying too hard or something. I heard actually there's quite a bit of like supposedly haunted schools around the world.
Yeah,
For
well,
one reason or another, actually. Surprising number.
yeah, I was gonna say, the youngster is like, there's one student that's still in there. They said the youngster is still believed to have been a student at the University Heights when it was still operating as a school,
Right.
and it seems that she has never left.
But yeah, because like if you died in a school, I don't know if I would want to hang around a school for the rest of my afterlife, though. Unless it's true that you're tied to wherever your body died or rests. I don't know.
Hey,
So I wanted to go over a few of my supposedly maybe things that I saw, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have anything as definitive as you, for sure. But before I get into that, I want to go over a little bit of my history trying to experience paranormal activity. Not the movie. But there are a lot of things I wanted to experience for myself to prove to myself that it's real, right? So I'm coming into this with the wanting to witness something. So I don't know if that like detracts the ghosts or like prevents the ghost, like puts off the ghost or whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Or like, oh, we don't want like I don't know. So like over the years I've tried using Ouija boards in many different locations with different people, and every single time I've had the same result, which is nothing happened. Big shock. Like even when I was hanging out with my friends from school and one of their houses was supposedly haunted, I like stayed the night a couple times and never saw anything myself. And then we used a Ouija board there with them, and it didn't move or anything like that. And I'm like, and then I've done it like I've done everything wrong you can possibly do wrong with a Ouija board too. Like I've not closed it and said goodbye. I left the planchette on top of the Ouija board for multiple days. Nothing happened, doesn't move, nothing, right?
right.
Every single thing you can do wrong besides burning it, because I never burned it. I thought that would be a waste to burn it, you know? But other than that, like, I even bought a used, older, vintage one from eBay that supposedly was haunted. Nothing. It's one of the older wooden ones that was like, oh, it's super haunted and vintage. But nope, nothing. So I'm like, So I'm thinking, after all this research, that either Ouija boards are bullshit or I must be ghost proof. One of the two here, right? Like I must not have like I must have something about me that repels ghosts away or something, because they don't seem to like me. I don't know. Or maybe it's because I'm going into it with a sense of trying to see something, and it seems like the majority of people who do witness ghosts or spirits don't want to, like, or they're more easily scared. Because I do know that at least negative entities feed on the fear that people exhibit from seeing ghosts, or if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like if you want to call it a demon or not, or like I don't consider demons actually demons. They're more like fourth dimensional negative entities I mean, they're still the same fucking thing, really, but they're just feeding on the fear of the person. So they feed on that. So obviously, if you're not afraid, they're not going to bother with you, theoretically. But it's a lot easier said than done when everything's moving around the house. I don't know. But I lost my train of thought. Yeah, so I don't think Ouija boards are legit. Obviously, it's made by, like, what is it, Hasbro or something? So I'm like, come on, they're not going to sell a board game to kids that's somehow connecting you to the spirit realm somehow, right? Now, I know it's based on a witch's board that, like, older witches used to use to communicate with the dead, supposedly. And theoretically, the board itself is not anything special. It's, from what I'm to understand, it's the act of trying to contact the dead itself that could open doors. So you don't need an actual board. You don't need a Ouija board specifically, even if you, like, get a pendulum, because I know some people, like, use a pendulum to communicate with spirits, or a dowsing rod of some sort, like the ones that spin dowsing rods. It's like, oh, cross the dowsing rods if it's a yes or no. Just asking spirits yes or no questions, or runes. There's many different ways that people would talk to the dead, not just a Ouija board. And it's not so much it's not so much that the Ouija board works or doesn't work. It's more the actual act of trying to communicate with the dead could possibly sometimes open doors as an invitation for other entities to come in, right? So
Right.
either I'm just, like, somehow spiritually repelling them away or protected somehow. I don't know. But every time I've tried, and I've tried a lot, because I just want to witness something that I can't explain myself, you know what I mean? And I just never been able to, for whatever reason. So, yeah, everything with the Ouija board I've tried doesn't seem to work. And then I got into the phase a little bit about, this is stupid of me, obviously, but I got into the phase where I didn't try to summon anything. Don't worry about that. I'm not going that far. But I'm not drawing, like, a pentagram and blood on the floor or anything like that. Although it would be kind of fun to do that before moving out and, like, just freak my landlord out a little bit. But I'm not going to do that. But I got into the phase where I was, like, buying supposedly haunted dolls on eBay. Because it's actually kind of surprising. You go on eBay, there's a whole subsection of haunted shit, right? Where it's, like, mostly dolls that people are trying to sell as haunted. For a lot of money, actually. And that's the problem. Because after buying, 4 or 5 different haunted dolls over the course of, like, a couple years, obviously none of them were haunted. Or if they were, they just didn't want to talk to me because, again, maybe I repel spirits. I don't know. So I can't fully 100% say they weren't haunted, but neither me or Roma really experienced anything. So either we just don't have any spirits here, or if there was a spirit attached to these things, I was repelling them somehow. I don't know. Maybe someone else has more insight than I do, because I don't know what the heck's going on. But I came to the conclusion that probably best not to buy anything that's supposedly claimed as haunted on eBay, because it's most likely not haunted. Because you, like, oh, I got this really shitty ass doll that isn't worth more than, like, 50 cents. But if I make up some backstory and claim it's right that it's haunted in the title and put it on eBay, I can then sell it for, like, 40 or 50 bucks. So that's what a lot of people do. And I've done that a lot. So a lot of times when these dolls that was supposedly haunted that I bought, and then after weeks and weeks of trying to communicate all this stuff with it, nothing ever happened. So I resold it using the same description that they all had for their original post. just copied and pasted the same description, put it back on eBay, and mostly got my money back from the majority of them. So apparently it's really easy to do. I could find like the biggest hunk of junk. I'm not even kidding you. I saw someone selling a normal pen on eBay and claiming it was haunted. I'm not joking. And I even asked them, like, really, you selling a pen? I tried to get rid of it, but it keeps rolling back to me. I'm like, are you fucking serious, bro? I really did message him, and he said that. I'm like, what? I should have saved that message. It was years ago. But I'm like, really? So, like, people will label anything as haunted. Like, I saw someone try to sell, like, a water bottle with a little bit of water, and it's like, oh, it's haunted water from wherever or something. I'm like, what? Or from some haunted location. Or supposedly haunted location. He took some water from it and was trying to sell it. I'm like, what? So people will try to sell anything, and they'll just put the word haunted on it, and they can upsell it for, like, 3 or 4 times more than it's actually worth. So instead of donating this ugly-ass fucking Raggedy Ann doll to Goodwill, now you could just sell it on eBay for $50 or $60 because Annabelle came out. So now any Raggedy Ann doll must be haunted now, right? I'm like, no. I don't know. But I digress about that. So yeah, I did try to witness a whole bunch of stuff. And
yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say yeah, and I still remember the Ouija board commercials when I was growing up. I was like, why y'all selling this to children? And why as sleepovers, why y'all want to try to do something like that?
Oh, you think that's bad? Okay, so get this. I have this. So I bought this like 5 or 10 years ago on I think it was eBay, or was it just? No, yeah, it was eBay because it was used, but it had all the pieces to it. It was like a whole kit. But it wasn't that expensive, and I just liked it because I liked the way it looked. It was this pink Ouija board aimed at girls, right? But it was this whole kit, and it was really cool. So it's like, it's this carrying case, and you open up the carrying case, and obviously has the board and the planchette, but it also has this, like, this deck of cards, and you shuffle cards, and you look at it, and it's different questions that you could ask spirits as, like, a sleepover type of thing. It's like, am I gonna meet my true love? Am I gonna have my first kiss? When am I gonna have my first kiss? Like, all these stupid, like, girly questions, not stupid, but you know what I mean, all these girly questions a girl would, like, play truth or dare with, or do that, like, you know that stupid little, like, piece of paper thing that they would, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, blue, yellow, like, and they would open it up. It's like stupid things like that. So it's like really questions girls would ask, but they're asking freaking spirits. So it, like, you pick a card and it's like, when will be my first true love's kiss? And you place that card down, and then all of them would go on the Ouija board and try to get an answer from the ghost. And I'm like, what? So they're trying to literally target this towards little girls that for sleepovers and stuff. Like, it's this little game. When, I mean, in theory, if it is actually, like, opening a portal or whatever, like, if it is opening a door, I don't know, but can't say 100% for sure, but like, really? And apparently, like, it's really expensive now. It became, like, really rare. So I go on eBay, and, like, now it's worth, like, $100 or $200. I'm like, what? But I want to keep it because I think I just think it's pretty because I like pink and I like purple, and it was like pink and purple, and I thought it looked cool. And I always was a big fan of the aesthetic for Ouija boards. I actually have a custom made Ouija board just nailed to the wall because I think it looks pretty. And it has like foxes on it. It's really pretty actually. But yeah, so I was like, I just like the aesthetic of Ouija boards. I don't think they actually work. At least for me, they don't. But I thought that was kind of funny too.
Well, I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, it doesn't really do But so I wanted to go over a few things that I might have witnessed, but everything it's not like you where you like, yeah, it couldn't have been anything else, right? For me, it was
Hmm.
like small things that like could easily be explained away. So it's like it could be, but it's probably not kind of thing. It's just stupid little things. So like at one point, I think we were doing we have this like we have this bin for clean clothes laundry that we kind of like once the laundry's done, we'll just kind of put it in this hamper bin for a bit before we hold it or whatever. So
Hmm.
I think it was right. It was like the day after we did laundry or whatever, and what was it? I think Omar Bear came down first, and I came down afterwards, and he went to go get some clothes, and he's like, "Well, why did you throw some of my clothes on the floor?" And I'm like, I didn't throw any clothes on the floor. And apparently there was like a handful of clothes that were on the floor. Now it wasn't that overflowing. And I'm like, I didn't throw any clothes on the floor, but like you could argue that gravity maybe like took some and made it fall over by gravity. Or it slid off when we threw it on there and didn't notice at the time. Like small things like that, right?
Hmm.
Um like randomly small things seem to go missing and then you'll find it like, oh, but it could just be us being forgetful kind of thing too, you know. So I'm like, um and then there's two things that I can't easily explain. um one of them I can explain. So I'll save the best one for last. Recently this actually happened like a couple weeks ago. um Bear was working, so I was all by myself. It was like maybe midnight, 11 midnight, whatever, and I was taking a nap before I had to go pick him up from work. So I'm all by myself in the house. Obviously, all the lights are on because I'm scared of the dark sometimes. Not all the lights, but like there were lights on. And I was taking a nap just on my recliner here, and my recliner is facing the TV, but it's in the middle of the room. So like you have the whole second half of the living room, and then it connects to the hallway and the kitchen and all that. So my back was to all that, and I was sleeping, and the AC was going full blast because it was like 90 something degrees, and it was making this noise, and it kind of like faded from going into this noise to like sounding like footsteps almost. But it's carpeting in the living room, so it sounded more like shuffling, like someone was shuffling closer to me, right? And
Hmm.
at this point, I'm like half awake, half not awake. Um, but I couldn't move. I could not turn my head whatsoever. And I'm like, so I feel, I sense and feel and hear something walking up behind me until they're like right behind my recliner. And I can't see or feel any, I can't see anything because I can't turn my damn head. And the way the reflection on the TV that I was facing was, like, I couldn't see anything because it wasn't turned enough to actually see me in the reflection. That makes sense. Um,
Yeah.
so obviously, like the easy explanation is sleep paralysis, right? Because that happens with sleep paralysis all the time. Like you actually like in between sleep states where you're not quite fully asleep, but you're not quite fully awake, and you can't actually move your body. And so a lot of people hallucinate scary things, like demons and shit. I've never had sleep paralysis before. Like this is my first. If this was sleep paralysis, this is my first time ever having sleep paralysis. Um, and like I'm like fully reclined on my recliner, and I'm like trying my hardest to turn my head, but my neck is like locked straight ahead. I could not turn my head at all. I couldn't move my body. I couldn't get up. Nothing. It was weird. Because like again, I've never experienced this before. If it was sleep paralysis, I've never experienced it. And it sounded like, and then it would sound like, or sound and feel like it would go away, and it would keep repeating. So like I would hear and feel more, not feel, but like more hear and sense like footsteps walking up to me from behind, standing there for a while and then disappearing and it happening again. Kind of almost in tune with the actual air conditioning, because air conditioning can get kind of loud and like sometimes it vibrates against the wall and makes a noise. So it's kind of in tune with that. So again, a lot of these are pointing towards sleep paralysis here. This is an explanation that could be explain all this. So it's not 100% proof that there was actually something there. It could have just been because I was half asleep and half awake. I couldn't move because like your body's still in a sleep state and you haven't fully woken up yet. And when you sleep and or take a nap or whatever, you like your body kind of like not locks, but like it is in a more relaxed state, so you're not moving around as much. You can sleep better. So it was definitely weird, though, because like I felt like something was behind me, and I so wanted to turn my head to see what the fuck was going on, and I couldn't. And by the time I fully woke up, obviously there's nothing there. It was just interesting because I've never experienced sleep paralysis before, and I didn't physically see anything either. So it's like, was there actually something there? I don't know. But again, I've lived in this apartment since 2011, and I don't think there's any spirits here because I've done a lot of stupid shit and never had anything happen. And then there was another instance which was more, this is the only thing that happened in this house that I can't fully explain. This was what, a year ago or maybe 2 years? And again, Bear didn't see it, so because he was facing me and I was facing the hallway, so he didn't get to see it. So he's still very skeptical. I'm pretty skeptical still, so I don't know. But I mean, so yeah, we were putting in the air condition for the year ourselves in our bedroom upstairs. And he was sitting on the bed facing me. I'm up against the window facing the hallway. Because from where I am, the door to the bedroom is open and there's a long hallway and another bedroom on the other side. And the light is on in the hallway. The light is on in the bedroom. It's nighttime, but it's not super late. I would say maybe 9 or 10 o'clock. I think. I'm trying to remember because it was like at least a year or two ago at this point. Right. And he was talking to me and I'm just like zoning out like I usually do. Like I'm still hearing what he's saying, but like I'm just kind of like staring off into space in the direction of the hallway. And as I'm staring off into space, I realize there's a shadow of a person up against the wall of the hallway. And I'm like, this isn't corner of my eye shit. Because I'm always seeing stuff out of the corners of my eye. And I can never know if that's just like an eye playing tricks, like your eye playing tricks with you or not. This is like full on see a statue, a dark, like shadowy statue of, or not statue, a shadow figure up against the wall. And as soon as I realize what I see, it like zooms off into the hallway adjacent, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, holy shit. So obviously I go and run to see if there's anything in there, nothing in there. And that was the only time I like couldn't really explain that because like it wasn't out of the corner of your eye stuff where it's like maybe you're seeing something, but maybe it could just be a trick of the eye. This was like full on, my eyes were focused on it. And as soon as I realized what it was, it ran off and disappeared into the other room, which I checked obviously all over the place and I didn't see anything. So I'm like, that's a little suspicious.
And creepy.
Yeah, right? I mean, it's a little creepy, but since then nothing happened, and this was like a year or two ago, so I don't know if it was just like a visiting spirit, like, or I don't know if it gave up. I don't know. Or maybe it was like one of your spirit guides, your guardian angels, or whatever. I don't know.
We shall never know.
I guess not. But I thought that was interesting because that was the only thing that's happened in this house that I can't fully explain away, right? Because even the
Mhm.
incident with me on the on the recliner, like you could explain that away as sleep paralysis. This, I was like staring straight ahead. I wasn't that tired or anything like that. It wasn't out of the corner of your eye, like because like a lot of recently the past like couple years, like past what 2 or 3 years, like I've been noticing like out of the corner of my eye, like thinking I'm seeing something out of the corner of my eyes. Obviously, when
Hmm.
you turn your head, there's nothing there. But I think that's just like your eye playing tricks with you because it's always in the corner of your eye, and your brain kind of seeing what you want to see, kind of thing. So that can be easily explained away. But this time, this was different. So I don't know. But that was really my only real experience, and I've wanted to see something I 100% couldn't explain, and I've never been able to. And I mean, like I've tried a few of those like ghost hunting apps on your phone too, or try doing EVPs to see if there's anything here. After that, nothing ever really worked. So I don't really think there's any real spirits here, or if there was, it moved on. I don't know. Or maybe one of the dolls actually was haunted for a second before I got rid of it. I don't know. But none of them really communicated with the Ouija board or with pendulum or anything. Spirit box, none of them communicated.
Hmm.
And
Well,
that's
I
actually another thing. Um, one of the things that were supposedly haunted that I bought was this like wooden cross thing, and it was like it's a big wooden cross, and you slide it open, and it like has like the last rites and stuff in for it. So it has like like you slide the top off, and it has like a spot, and it has two candles, and you put the two candles in there. Maybe it had something else in there. It's supposed to be used for like either exorcism or last rites. It's like older wooden things. And I bought it, and it was supposedly haunted. I had it in my like, oh, super dangerous, like really haunted thing. I'm like, okay. I bought it. I had it in my house for like half a month to a month. Nothing happened. This was after that, so this wasn't because of that. Um, So I'm like, whatever, this thing isn't haunted. I resold it on eBay. And I want to say this was like, what, half a year ago at this point? I sold it on eBay and I forgot about it. And then, like, a while later, I'm like, for the hell of it, I'm just going to follow up with a guy who bought it from me. So I bought it from someone, and obviously I didn't experience anything whatsoever. No hauntings, no paranormal activity, nothing. No, like, because it was saying like, oh, you'll hear banging on the walls at random times at night. Um you'll see like apparitions. Like, he was really upselling. Whoever I bought it from was really upselling it. And again, I just copied and pasted all that shit and put it on my listing to sell it. Because like that's just kind of what I did. Like, this is what I bought. I'm just gonna suppose if it is actually legitimately haunted or not. I'm like, I don't fucking know, but it's not working for me. So I just copy and pasted the whole description and resold it, right? And I'm pretty sure I think I got my money's back on it for roughly around the same amount.
yeah.
So I contacted the guy, and he's like, "Oh no, I'm seeing shit." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I've been hearing pounding at my bedroom door at night, and I'm like seeing shadow figures I can't explain." I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And he's
Hmm.
like, "I don't know what to do. I think I'm gonna like put some like, what did he say? He was gonna like put a prayer, like do a prayer on it, or put some kind of like blessed thing on it to like try to keep the spirits at bay or something." I'm like, what? Like, this didn't do shit in my house. Are you kidding? Are you really telling me that this was like really haunted? Or maybe it's like the power of belief kind of thing, where it's like if you fully believe this thing is haunted, then you'll start seeing shit. but like if you are kind of skeptical at all, it's not going to do anything. Maybe, I don't know, but he was saying like it was doing all these crazy shit, where it's like he like heard like knocking on his bedroom door at night, no one was there. He was seeing something in the hallway that was like dark shadow figure, all this crazy shit, right? I'm like, what? Why didn't it do anything when I had it?
Hmm.
So
Yeah, it
maybe it
is.
is like you need 100% like belief in it in order for you to see something, or you will see what you want to see, kind of thing. And if you believe it's haunted when you're buying it, it's going to be haunted, but it has nothing to do with an actual ghost. It's more, I don't know, your senses, your brain tricking you, you seeing what you want to see or hear. I don't know. Yeah, I asked him to keep in touch and let me know if what else happens, but he never messaged back. So maybe he's dead right now. I don't know. Maybe the
Oh,
demon that was attached to it was got him. Because I think the description was something like, "Oh, it was actually used in a real exorcism somewhere or something." I'm like, okay, but I don't
oh
know.
dear.
Maybe I don't. But when I had it, nothing happened, so I don't know. Like I said, I've done some stupid stuff, so and nothing ever really happened to me. So maybe I'm lucky. I don't know. Maybe I have some spirit guide or guardian angel like protecting my dumb ass from all this stuff. I don't know.
Hmm.
Or maybe I had too much paranormal activity happen to me in my previous life, and they're like, okay, well, this time around, I don't want to deal with any ghosts.
Hmm.
um, but yeah. Anything else you want to talk about? Now that we all went
Well,
through each of our experiences.
yeah, I think I did talked about mines, and yeah, I was gonna chime in and say like, yeah, some people do believe in it, and some insane things happen around them, but when other, but when I have a haunted thing, this was when I was growing up. I had a haunted thing. Nothing happened. Really.
An object or
Yeah, it wasn't an object, but
hmm,
well, technically it was my sister that bought it in the house, and nothing happened to us.
hmm. Yeah, it's like these like supposedly these vessels that a spirit inhabits, and maybe like it only really exhibits activity like if it like if like someone like fully believes in it, or maybe like if it knows it can scare someone or not. Because maybe if it can sense that it's not going to be able to scare you, it's not going to do anything because it's not going to be able to feed off of your fear if it knows that it can't scare you. I don't know if it was malevolent.
Yeah, but yeah, nothing happened to us. But I do see stories that some people had some very violent experience
Yeah, I
when
mean,
it.
it's just hit and miss, or maybe like certain people are more susceptible to paranormal activity than other people, kind of thing. Possibly,
Yeah, yeah,
because I know, like, I guess you could say like because Bear is like total skeptic, doesn't believe in it 100%. I'm kind of open about it. I do believe there's a possibility that I do believe spirits exist and there's a spirit world, but I think that it's a lot more rare of an occurrence than what we're led to believe with all these different like ghost videos and surveillance videos. My Ring doorbell caught this ghost apparition. I don't know, but I do believe it does exist in some aspect or fashion, just not as um, relevant, not as often. Or it depends on the location of the person too. Because I do think certain people would be more susceptible to it than other people, and like brute forcing or the confidence someone has if they want to, like if someone like me wants to witness something, they would exude confidence about like wanting to see it and not being afraid, and that might deter an actual spirit from presenting itself. Not so much because like I'm not saying all spirits are malevolent, because that's probably not the case. And a lot of times, like, I kind of feel bad for spirits in these, like, okay, so assuming these ghost hunter investigation type shows are real, and all the stuff they're showing is real, which is a big assumption, right? Because most of that shit's fake. But like, for a second, let's go on the belief that these ghosts are real, and you have douchebag Zach Baggins over here, right? And he's like, come here, ghost. Like, do so, speak into this thing. So the ghosts are like, okay, fine. Hey. And then they play back, hey. And they're like, holy crap! Ah! Like, they freak the fuck out. I'm like, and the ghost, the spirits is like, I'm just doing what you fucking asked, dumbass. Like, but they freak the fuck out when they get an answer, even though, like, they were asking for an answer of some sort, and they got it. And a lot of times, like, a lot of these spirits really seem like they're hurt and they're not malevolent, and that they're, like, either in pain or sad. And that's not really helping when you got douchebags, ghost hunters, just going around trying to, like, get proof or whatever, when really they kind of just need understanding and help. Maybe to cross over or something like that, and or they're lost or something like that, and these idiots are just over here like exploiting them for views and money, and over here, and they're over here just trying to like find their way to the other side. Maybe, I mean, this is assuming like there actually is spirits wherever they're going and stuff, which is a big assumption, because again, like, none of the ghost hunting, like, investigation things seem to treat any of the spirits with respect. Is my main point. You know what I mean? Or not as much respect that they deserve. Like, and then they just act super scared and play it up on camera to be super scared for the views, when I would rather just see like an authentic ghost hunting people that, like, even if they don't witness anything, they don't fake it. They try to be legitimate, and they actually try to respect spirits and try to reach out, maybe have like a psychic or medium on the team to help the spirits cross over if they need help. They probably wouldn't be allowed in actual haunted places if that was the case, because if you exercise and help the spirits cross over in a haunted historical location that makes money on haunted ghost tours, they're probably not going to let you do that, because that's the bread and butter right there. And that's kind of a shame. Because if there are spirits stuck here, like, wouldn't it be our obligation to try to help them cross over if we can? Like, communicate, bring in a medium, try to get them to go into the light, whatever. Especially if it was, like, a tragic event that happened, like someone... Like, because that's what I hear is, like, if someone dies from a tragic event or very, like, brutal way, like murder, whatever, like that, they're kind of like their spirit ends up tethered to that location, which is rather sad when you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, if I die, I'm not going to want to get stuck in some... Well, if I get killed, I'm not going to want to get stuck in some, like, horrible dungy warehouse or wherever that I got killed at. Like,
Well, that's the thing, right? That the thing is, there have been enough humans born in the world since the first Homo sapiens, sapien, whatever, or even before then, that there should be ghosts in every location. But why is it only select few locations that have them?
I have my own belief on that, but
Because
Barrett?
I don't think it's...
Barrett, do you want to answer first if you have a belief for...
I can't put it to words right now. I'm trying to
Well, my belief, well, obviously you're right, because, like, America's literally built on a massive Indian burial ground, if you think about it. Like,
Oh dear, yeah.
yeah, like the whole country is built on an Indian burial ground. Maybe that's why we're having so many issues in the country so much. But me personally, like I do believe in reincarnation. So I feel like unless it's an extenuating circumstances where like a lot of trauma happened upon their death and it was very brutal and they just can't get over it, or they are lost and can't get to the other side, then they linger. But the vast majority of people, I would argue, do manage to find their way to the other side and pass over and either go to based on your own belief, like go to heaven, go to hell. I don't really believe in heaven or hell in that sense, or be reincarnated, because like I believe in a spirit world. So like in my belief, when you die, you're greeted by your loved ones that died and your spirit guides and your ancestors or whatever, and you get to spend time as a spirit and you remember all your past lives that you led, and you look back on your life and review of what you learned, and you carry that on to the next life, and you eventually start planning out your next life or whatever. And not everyone makes it to the spirit world though. So like people that died like a horrible thing or have attachments left, like if they have an unfinished business and stuff like that, that's what you hear a lot in terms of ghosts. Oh, they had unfinished business so they couldn't pass over, kind of thing like that. So then they would stick around instead of moving on to the next destination, right? Because I don't think death is actually the end, and it's just a part of the life cycle or whatever. And so that's why the majority of people probably do move on. And it's just these extenuating circumstances where they have unfinished business, or is a very brutal way they died and very traumatic, and they just couldn't find the way to the other side, is why we're not overridden by ghosts, and why the Applebee's or the IHOP down the street isn't super haunted. That would be my belief. Obviously, not every single person that dies is gonna stay as a ghost, because that would insinuate that there wasn't any like afterlife at all, and it's just spirit stuck here on Earth, Earth-laden spirits or whatever.
Yeah. But well, I'm still trying to grasp myself, like what happens if we do die, like, because a part of me still do believe in like a part of me says it believes in reincarnation, and
Well, I'm not trying
I've
to
been-
preach like, oh, you got to believe what I believe. Like everyone's welcome to believe whatever the heck they want.
oh, I know, I'm just saying, like, just like there's a lot out there, but just like I keep on wondering, like, what happens if we do pass on, you know? It's, it still keeps me up at night.
Well, the way I see it, it's like energy cannot ever disappear. It only ever changes to form, right? So
Yeah.
like, and they weighed bodies like right before death and right after death, like a couple seconds after and before. And there is a slight difference. And this isn't like hours after death. This is immediately after death. And there is like, I forget the weight, but it's like, what, like half a pound to a pound or two difference. And like people argue that's how much a soul weighs or whatever. But like, and it, like we are all so different and so unique. Like obviously our personalities, are like who we are as a person, scientifically people would argue is based on our brains, right? Like our brain decides who we are as a person. But throughout history there's never really that many personalities that are like so similar you can't really tell them apart. Everyone is so unique and so different. Can that really just come down to like the different folds in a person's brain determining that, or is it actually like some kind of soul, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I mean, I have my belief, but and then you got like the feeling, like I feel like the truth in I mean, I'm not trying to preach to anyone because I don't really have a specific religion anyway. I don't think any organized religion has it right 100%. I think there's a little bit of truth in every single religion, but none of them gets it 100% at all. It is a little bit of truth is a nugget of truth in each one.
Hmm.
But none of them ever got it 100%. And I don't believe in a hell, or at least in the Christian version of hell, because that doesn't make any sense. We are given free will and free mind to like believe whatever we want. So why would we be punished for exercising that? Right?
Right.
It just doesn't make any sense. And and then to have a god or creator, whoever, be so egotistical that we have to absolutely worship him and we'll go into hell and be punished for all eternity if we don't believe in him, doesn't make much sense. I know I was talking with a Jewish friend of mine, and they believe that there is like a form of hell, but it's not permanent. And it's like, it's not if you don't believe in their version, it's just if you're a horrible bad person, you go to hell for a while until you atone for your sins, and then you go into heaven or whatever. And that makes a little bit more sense. But I believe
Right.
more in like a karma kind of thing. It's like, if you're a horrible person, you're probably either going to be reincarnated as a lesser being the next time around or something like that. Where it's like you might be reincarnated as a fucking beetle or a snake or something lesser than human. Or just have a shitty life in the next time around. I don't know.
Well, isn't that basically Buddhism?
Yeah, basically, the whole karma thing is taken from Buddhism. A whole reincarnation is.
Well, don't they have? Aren't they the ones that have the 5 different realms? Where one's like the animal realm where you're reincarnated as an animal, and then the other one's the human realm where you're trying to achieve enlightenment, and then so when you pass in that life, you get reincarnated into the the realm with all the higher beings, but you're able to like lose your way and get knocked down back to the human realm or something like that. And then obviously there is like the quote unquote hell realm, but it's not hell. It's just where a lot of the demons are
Yeah,
and
like I
all
think
that
it's
stuff.
called Gehenna or something.
I think so.
I've heard that, yeah. Because it's like, I've heard like in a lot of like modern spirituality, it's like, it's also related in terms of like different dimensions. So like obviously, fourth dimension by a physical standpoint would be time, but the way they are talking about it, it's not in that specific dimension. It's like we're in the 3D realm here on Earth, or the Matrix or whatever you want to call it. Some people use that. And like fourth dimension, 5 dimension, 6 dimension, like different dimensions of enlightenment, you could say, or like ascending to like a higher state of vibration and being and enlightenment, or whatever you want to call it, would be like that. But it's basically taking the same thing as, yeah, Buddhism. Because I think a lot of modern spirituality comes from Buddhism and Eastern religions too. But a lot of religions believe in a firmament around the earth and flat earth, so the earth is flat and there's waters around the dome of the earth.
Well, there's also the one where
We're getting into
the angels are in the 4 corners of the earth.
Yeah, that's in the Bible. That's why so many people believe it that are Christian. I guess.
Which I don't think they really understood what that meant.
Well, I think a lot of it is like they can't accept that we're getting off topic, but it's so fine. They can't accept that evolution happened just randomly, and that we are on a spinning ball hurtling through space so randomly without any reason or cause, and it would just happen to be on this Earth, on this ball planet, spinning, circling, or orbiting the sun, going throughout space at how many hundreds of thousands of miles per hour or whatever. And
Yeah.
it just seems like a random mess. Whereas if they're on a flat Earth, that indicates intelligent design. We're not just here by random happenstance someone created us in that way. And that's what they like about that. It's like, oh, if it's a flat Earth, it can't just happen by random laws of nature. Like someone created us, be it aliens or a god or whatever. And if we are on a flat Earth, I would argue it would be more of a alien experiment than a god. That's just me. I don't really think. Unless all of NASA's lying. It could be.
Well, you do know about Project Bluebeam and how they're working towards that, right?
Yeah. So, like, it depends on how much competency we put on the government
Mm-hmm.
and who's all involved and to what lengths they'll go to deceive the people.
Yeah.
Because you got, like, Dr. Stephen Greer and them, they're trying to, like, consciously communicate with extraterrestrials because they view, like, extraterrestrials as, like, more higher-minded individuals that you can communicate via meditation and reaching out with your mind consciously, which is a really interesting way of thinking. And that obviously they're mostly benevolent beings. There are some that are, well, there's different species of aliens, so some are more malevolent, some are not, but they're trying to communicate with the benevolent ones. And the government, for as long as like societies existed, has tried to instill fear in aliens. That's why there's so many alien horror movies of all kinds. You got War of the Worlds, you got all these like different things trying to build fear of extraterrestrials so the government can take advantage of that and maybe instill a one world order, whatever you want to call it. And use it as an excuse by faking an alien invasion, because that's Bluebeam right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so going back to what you said about all these different races, how do you know?
I don't personally know, but a lot of people. So there have been a lot of books made by people who claim to be alien contactees, who have been contacted by different alien races or whatever, and a lot of the information from different people seem to like be all correct, even though these people have never met each other, never talked to each other, and their information is all similar or the same, it seems. So, like, I mean, obviously it's not 100%, no one knows for sure, but these people are being contacted, supposedly, by different entities, and they don't know, each of these people don't know each other or anything like that, and they've still written and explained basically the same different kind of entities. Like, supposedly you got the Arcturians, which I think are the reptilian types, you got the Greys, you got Pleiadians, which are more like white hair, blue eye, or blonde / white hair, kind of long, blue eyes, kind of look like angels, kind of. You got like I think they're called. I don't remember all the other ones, but like there were some other ones that people generally agree upon in the spiritual community in terms of like the contactees who talked about these different entities or have been in contact with these different entities or have even been abducted. And you got people who even like had different entities like will like not possess, like they agree. So like I think there's like the third law with the book Ra, I think it's like use these different hypnosis sessions where like a person who is a contactee will be put in a trance and supposedly an alien entity will talk through that person because they're already in contact. The alien being is already in contact with the person. So the alien will like kind of temporarily possess. I'm not using the right words, but temporarily possess the person and talk through them, and the other people with her are writing down the shit, and then you got books like that that supposedly talk about, and they'll explain different things. And this has happened with different people throughout the years, and you get into the whole. I hate to say it because like people think I'm a quack. Like I don't believe 100% in the Ancient Aliens TV show because they go a little overboard. But in terms of aliens visiting our ancient past. I'm not saying they 100% built the pyramids or whatever, but they maybe like showed our ancient ancestors how and where to build. Not so much that they actually built it themselves, just showing them, hey, this lines up with um, magnetic north, and these all line up. Like, because if you look at like all the different ancient um, artifact sites around the world, it all like kind of lines up very well to different astrological things in the sky, and it's like so super accurate mathematically. It's really impressive. So even if it was just the ancient ancestors doing it without any interference, it's still incredibly impressive. And we probably couldn't even do half the shit they did today. But we're supposedly the most advanced form of society when I don't think we are. That's a whole other subject.
Yeah.
But I guess that'll be it for this episode. We kind of went on a little bit of a tangent that was unrelated, but it's all right. Um, I want to thank Barrett for joining us today. Thank you, because we don't have any real paranormal experiences, so it's nice to have someone who actually had some on. And if you ever want to be on another episode of our show, just let us know.
All right, and I was gonna say, thanks for having me, and don't worry. In some podcast shows, people do a little tangent, so
It's all good. Do you have any shows or sites you want to plug while you're here?
Well, I got some new topics for my next episode. If you all want to be a part of it, you let me know.
What's the name of your show again?
It's called The Lex Factor Show.
All right, and the link to that will be in our description of this video also. Bear, are you still alive? Your mic.
Oh, yeah, I'm not abducted.
Oh, you got abducted, did you?
No, I didn't.
Aw.
Because it's not true. They're only little organisms.
Oh, you're going Shane on us?
No, not Shane.
No, Shane
Maybe
believed the
Shane.
same thing.
No, I know. It's me, your boy, you know?
Yeah. Oh, the only aliens out there are little single-cell organisms in the mud somewhere.
Yeah, haven't you ever seen the movie Life?
That movie was so stupid. I hated that movie.
I've never seen it.
It's so stupid. It's like, I don't know why it just like pissed me off, and I don't know why, because like theoretically I should like it. It's like, oh, because like they thought this organism was like dying or dead, so they tried to like shock it into life, like with not CPR, but like a mini, clear thing. You know, whatever that is, shock paddles. It was kind of something like that, but with a smaller. Yeah. And then it thought, oh, because of that, it thought he was being attacked, so it decided I have to kill every single fucking human in existence. It makes no sense. I'm like, so this thing's really fucking dumb then. I don't know. It's just really stupid.
I was gonna say, like, ever since I saw the trailer, I was like, yeah, it's another killer alien movie on the loose. Like, yeah, got it.
And it's like it wasn't even nearly as good as like the actual Alien movies. I'm like, I even like not even as good as like Prometheus or anything. And I kind of like Prometheus, but a lot of people didn't.
My only gripe about that is the ending. Like, lady, go to the other side.
Just go back to Earth. Why are you freaking?
No.
Oh, you mean like... the turning thing? Yeah, it's like I'm gonna run in the same direction the ship is falling in. No, just turn left or right.
I'm like, lady, what the hell? And yes. Oh, thank you so much, because that's the new topic for my next show.
Oh shit.
Huh? No, because like dumb moments in scary movies and alien movies.
A lot. Well, this goes back to what I was saying before. They're trying to like make a narrative that all aliens must be bad, so that they
Yeah.
can benefit off of that in some way later on down the road, maybe. Or one could argue it's just because people find the unknown scary. That's not as much fun.
I was gonna say all of the above.
Yeah, for that too. But, all right, well, we'll be back with another episode sometime soon, whenever we come up with it. Say goodbye, everyone.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.
See you next time, and keep your eyes to the skies or the graveyards.
Do you mean skis? Do you mean keep your eyes on the skis?
Yes, keep your eyes on the skis, even though it's not winter yet. Bye.